Hello and welcome to this first devlog for my upcoming sci-fi trading game. Today I want to talk about something fundamental to the entire experience, the galaxy generator. This thing is the engine that creates the procedural universe you'll be exploring, and let me tell you, it's been a journey. When I started, I knew this was going to be a heavy task for the CPU. So right from the beginning I built most of the generator using jobs and burst compile, Unity's tools for high performance code. The first version worked pretty well for small test maps, but as soon as I tried to scale up, it got slower and slower. So what exactly is happening under the hood to create a galaxy? It's a multi-step process. First, star placement. We procedurally generate positions for all stars. The goal is to keep them from being too clumped together, but also not so perfectly spaced that it feels unnatural. 2. Star system. For each star, we generate a star type and a planetary system. This is also where we lay the groundwork for the galaxy's economy, determining what resources and population each planet has. 3. Empire start points. Next, we find starting positions for all the alien empires, making sure they're a respectful distance from each other. 4. Empire expansion. This is where things get interesting. The generator simulates alien empires expanding from their starting systems into nearby habitable stars. It does this over and over, anywhere from 1 to 300 rounds of expansion, depending on the galaxy size. Each alien race has its own unique expansion rate, adding a layer of complexity. 5. Trade routes. Finally, we create the essential trade routes between star systems. This is based on proximity, of course, but also economic factors like resource availability. Now, all those connections are a mess, so the generator has to clean them up. This is also a multi-step cleanup process. We get rid of connections that cross over each other, then we check if a route from star A to B passes close to star C, and if so, we split it into two, making AC and CB. We upgrade or downgrade trade route types based on the connections around them, and then we fill in gaps between nearby systems that were missed. As you can imagine, this is a lot of work. Unsurprisingly, my first pass at this, while fine for a test map of 400 by 300 light years with a few hundred stars, took literal minutes once I tried to expand to something like 500 by 500. Remember that everything grows quadratically. A 400 by 300 map is 120,000 square light years, but a 500 by 500 map is 250,000, more than double. Going to 1,000 by 1,000 would quadruple that again to 1,000,000 square light years. The number of stars and connections explodes, and the calculations along with them. For a map over 500 by 500, you're dealing with more than 1,000 stars. Let's look at the expansion process again with that in mind. If we have 10 alien factions, in the first round, each needs to check for nearby stars to expand to. To find those neighbors, it needs to check the distance to all 1,000 plus stars. That's 10,000 distance calculations. In the next round, they've expanded, so maybe it's 30 systems to check, leading to 30,000 calculations. By round 10, we're at several million. You can see how this quickly spirals out of control. Yeah, it was taking 5 minutes or more, so the obvious point to optimize was reducing those distance calculations. The classic solution? A quad tree. Think of it like this. The galaxy map is repeatedly divided into 4 small and smaller sections, a process that continues until each section, or quad, only contains a few stars. This data structure lets me query for nearby stars by only checking the same quad and its neighbors. Instead of 1,000 distance calculations, I'm now doing about 20. I also added a second optimization. I realized that stars deep within an empire's territory had already checked all their neighbors multiple times. They had nowhere left to expand. So I implemented a system to limit how many times a star system tries to expand, saving a huge number of redundant checks. Together, these two were a game changer. The time to generate a 500 by 500 galaxy with over 1,000 stars, all their planets, their empires, the economy, and the trade routes dropped from minutes to a jaw-dropping 3 seconds. Of course, the next logical step was to see how far I could push it. I tried a 1,000 by 1,000 galaxy. That's 1,000,000 square light years with 4,500 stars, 2,500 of them inhabited, and almost 4,000 trade routes. The result? 8 seconds. Wow. A 2,000 by 2,000 galaxy, 4,000,000 square light years, over 16,000 stars, over 10,000 inhabited, 15,700 connections, 63 seconds. Okay, we're pushing the limits, but still completely playable. A quick note on those numbers. You'll notice not all stars get inhabited. The way the expansion works, some systems, like those with only a few low resource planets, brown dwarfs, or black holes, simply aren't worth the effort for an empire to colonize. They'll mostly stay uninhabited limited unless they happen to be a strategic point for a space station. Anyway, I did try a 3000 by 3000 map, which is a massive 9 million square light years and 40,000 stars. It crashed. I was expecting it, but this time I think I hit a hard memory limit. A single temporary data structure needed over 2 gigabytes of memory. So I called it a day and set the new galaxy size limit to 2000 by 2000. Frankly, I'm happy with that. 15,000 or so stars is far more than you're likely to visit in a single playthrough. We don't need No Man's Sky's numbers. The genre-defining ancestor of all space trading games, the original Elite from 1985, had only 256 stars in each of its 8 galaxies. So yeah, I'm happy. That's the state of the galaxy generator right now. I'll leave you with a few animations of some of the galaxies it had created. Next time, I'll dive into the different star and planet types and how they affect the game's economy. Thanks for watching.